Hello everyone, this is Carly Hostler,
And this is Audrey Ricks.
and for our communications final, we'll be talking about enthymemes.
Wait. Before we start talking about enthymemes, we should first talk about what a syllogism is. A syllogism is a set of premises that build on each other to support or not support a conclusion. If it helps, you can think of it as a formula, like A plus B equals C.
Here's an example. Premise 1 is Socrates is man. Premise 2 would be all men are mortal. The last premise would then be Socrates is mortal. Understand?
Awesome! Now we can talk about enthymemes.
An enthymeme is a missing premise in a syllogism that viewers provide for themselves using prior knowledge. For example, let's say that we have the same Socrates syllogism as before, except this time we take out the first premise. Now the syllogism is all men are mortal and Socrates is mortal.
If all men are mortal and Socrates is mortal, then the viewer can supply for themselves that Socrates is a man based on what is implied by the statements as well as prior knowledge.
Enthymemes are most commonly used with images, so let's try this out using a picture. Here we see Joe Camel, who is smoking a cigarette while looking cool leaning back on a nice car. What would the premise be for this image?
The first would be that Joe Camel is smoking, which is obvious in the image. The next would be that Joe Camel is cool, which can be implied from the way he looks and the car he has. The missing premise in this case, which the viewer must supply for themselves, would be that smoking is cool.
A viewer can provide an enthymeme for themselves quickly, and because enthymemes are supplies using prior knowledge, they are harder to counter when compared to a normal stated argument.
Now that we have a grasp on the basic concept, let's get deeper into enthymemes. Let's start with naturalistic enthymemes.
A naturalistic enthymeme is when the assumption about an image is that it is real until proven otherwise. A simpler way to think of it is innocent until proven guilty. For example, here you'll see the famous Times Square kiss, taken after World War II. This image is seen as a romantic reunion between two lovers by most people. However, it has since come out that the sailor had forced the kiss on the nurse, who did not know the man before this moment. Thus, this romantic image, while at first assumed to be true, was actually proven to be false. For further clarification, here is an image that is at first seen from a distance and then zoomed in. In the first image, the woman's hand appears to be normal. No one would question it because there is no appearance of anything being wrong. However, in the zoomed-in picture, it becomes clear that a bag had been photoshopped out of the image. Therefore, an image that was presumed to be true is not actually.
The opposite of the naturalistic enthymeme is the unnaturalistic enthymeme. The unnaturalistic enthymeme is the presumption that an image is false until proven true. These presumptions are made due to the abundance of Photoshop and general manipulation of images that take place daily, which makes it harder for images to be believed at first glance. For example, in this image, artist Beyoncé is singing to a blind fan in the audience during one of her concerts. At first, this image may be perceived to be false, as celebrities are popular subjects to Photoshop yourself with. However, in this case, the image proved to be true. This image correlates with a news article that covered the event of this blind girl meeting Beyoncé in person.
Now you may be thinking, that's all well and good, but what if the assumptions we're supposed to be making are wrong? Well, there are ways to deny an enthymeme.
It's called blocking the enthymeme. To block an enthymeme, you must first take the missing premise and make it overt, then contest the enthymeme.
Do you recall our previous enthymeme using Joe Camel? The missing enthymeme in that example was that smoking is cool. Let's say that we disagree with that premise. To block that image, we must first make that missing premise overt and then counteract it.
In this example, we have the same image of Joe Camel. However, this time Joe is laying in a hospital bed and his name has been changed from Joe Camel to Joe Chemo. The missing enthymeme from the previous example is denied here because instead of being cool, Joe is shown that smoking has been damaging to his body.
This has been Carly Hostler
And Audrey Ricks.
Thank you for watching our final project.
We hope you were able to learn about enthymemes and its elements.